What up, my awesome viewers? It is Rio G on here. I'm going to show you what kind of hands you should keep versus what kind of hand you should not keep. Now, of course, this is like super general, so that means that if you have a particular play style that's a little bit different, that's fine. You can go ahead and ignore this. But as a general rule of thumb, this is what tends to be pretty helpful for me during my games. Okay, so if you have a commander that runs green, these are the typical hands you can keep and be pretty okay. So let's say you have your deck, you shuffle up, and during the shuffle up section, I recommend doing the shuffle up 5. Some say 7, others say 3, I say 5. Go to like the middle ground, and then that should be pretty good enough so that it's shuffle up kind of a little bit more spread out, I guess you can say. And at this point, since I'm talking, I lost count, so I'm going to assume it's 5. But if I'm wrong, let me know. And then you draw out your hand. That's 5. And that's 7. Okay. So a typical hand like this, I would keep. And here's why. First of all, I'm running green, so I have a crack land, which gives me a forest, which gets me set up for the next play. And then I also have 2 other lands. So what this means is that for the first 3 turns, super important, for the first 3 turns, I will be on curve. So if you want to be ahead of curve, that's great. But for the first 3 turns, if you are on curve, you will have a good time. For the first 3 turns, if you're not on curve, you're gonna have a bad time typically. So that's the typical rule of thumb. Let's take a look at the next hand. Okay, so it's the same rule here. As in, I have 3 lands, I'm running green, I have a crack land which gives me green. So the first 3 turns, I'm going to be on curve. And is this 6 cards? Okay, yeah, this is 6 cards. This is 7 cards. Nice. Very nice. Okay. So again, rule of thumb, first 3 turn on curve, I have green, I'm running green, I have green. Fantastic. Take a look at the next hand. What's that? 5, 7. Okay. Alright, so this is not that bad. This is not the best hand, but the most important rule of thumb, what is that? First 3 turn, you are on curve. That's the rule of thumb, and then you can draw power and all that good stuff. Let's get one more hand. Let's see if we can have a different kind of example. 5, 7. Okay, this is a mulligan hand. Because I only have 1 land, I can only play 1 thing, and it's just too much of a big risk. Even though this land is green, which is very important, but again, in the first 3 turns, I am not on the curve. So this is a mulligan hand. And let's take a look here. 5, is that 5? Nice. So this is a keeper because I have a ramp spell which eventually I can draw out the land, and then again, first 3 turns I am on curve. And let's do one more. Is that 6? 7. Okay, so this is a risky hand. Like, the first 3 turns you're not on curve, but you have a way of ramping, if assuming your next card is a land, which is not. So it's a risky hand. If I were me, I would mulligan this because the first 3 turns I am not on curve, so I would not do it. Check the next 3. Definitely a mulligan. Okay, so I'll try one more to see if I can reach my other example. If not, then I'll just tell you guys what the other example is. Is that 5? Yes, 5. 2 more. Okay. For this hand, I am still going to keep it, and here's my reasoning. Because, technically, for the first 3 turns, I am on a curve. Because I have a ramp spell. And I have another ramp spell. So, for the first 3 turns, I am still on a curve, even though my hand only has 2 lands. I have ways to get more lands within those turns. As long as you have ways to get more lands within those turns, you are going to be on curve or ahead of curve. Keep the hand. So that's if you're running green. So now, let's say you're not running green. Alright, let's say you have like Mardu. Black, white, red. So it's gonna be a pretty similar situation where you still want to have the three lands be on curve, but it gets a little bit different because it honestly depends on how your play style is. For my particular play style with Edgar as my commander, I'm going in fast, and by going in fast, sometimes your hand can be a little bit more on the riskier side. And for the sake of, I lost count, I'm just going to do it one more time, just to be sure. Okay. Is that 5? That's 5. And this is a complete dud, so this is a 100% mulligan. There is no land. I will have no chance of being on curve. Is my next card going to be a land? Yes, it is, but this is so slow that I am just not going to work out. But let's say, for example, if this is a mountain, let's say, I keep this hand because I have 2 signets, and the signets can ramp me up so that I would stay on curve. So that's not bad. But this is obviously not a mountain, so definite mulligan for that hand. 5, 7. Yes, okay. This is something I would keep because for the first 3 turns, I am on curve. This is fine. This is going to be a tap land, but if you look at the hand, I have no first turn play, so that's fine. It's a keeper because the first 3 turns I am going to be on curve. And this one, yes, okay, this one you can still keep because of you have a ramp spell. So it's a pretty similar rule. And yeah, by this point we're at like the 8-minute mark. I'm pretty sure you guys understand that I probably drilled it down to your head enough where for the first 3 turns you need to make sure you're on curve. If the first 3 turns you're not on curve, you're gonna have a bad time. So hopefully this helps, so then when you actually play Magic, whether you're a beginner or whether you're an expert at playing Commander, you're gonna tell me how wrong I am in a comment down below. So that's pretty much it. If you liked the video, like, subscribe, thumbs up, the bell for more content. You guys stay awesome.